What's up, family? Fairweather Rider coming at you with another episode. This time, I'm just out for a ride. No mission, no destination. It feels really good to be able to get out and put some more miles on Ruby. For the last few weeks, it's been unusually cold here in the Cajun State. But today, it's over 70 degrees. With the slight wind, so I decided why not get out and put a few miles on the pursuit. Today, I don't really have a destination. Just plan a ride from Alexandria to another little city called Oakdale and back. Hope y'all saw that. And what happened with someone slam on the brakes and I'm not ready. Woo. That was heavy, y'all. Yep, that was heavy. Did y'all see that? Little things like that can happen when you lose focus. What I should have done was straighten the bike out before I applied the brakes. And let you know that I'm still learning when it comes to those slow speed maneuvers. But I was able to get the bike up on my own. Good thing I've kind of taken some of those courses or watched some of those videos that show you how to pick up a heavy bagger without assistance. Now I can continue on my path without a destination. Tell you one thing though, it's a good thing I have those motorcycle drop guards. I don't know for sure, but I think they sell them for just about any touring motorcycle. I'll put a link to the website where you can get them from in the description. They're called motorcycle drop guards. The ones I have came in black for the dog horse, but I know they also sell the chrome ones. Since we're going to be out riding together, let's talk about some of the 2025 motorcycles that were announced within. I have been thinking about adding another motorcycle to the stable. Maybe within the next 6 to 12 months. I'm not quite sure what I want yet. But one thing I know that I don't want is another full dress bagger, like the one that I have with the Pursuit. I would like to have one that has some saddlebags, bike that I could drive for distance if I wanted to. So I know I don't want a sports bike either. But I have been thinking about some of those sports touring options. I don't know if it's categorized as a sports touring motorcycle, but I do like that Harley Davidson Pan America. If you like that Pan America, put it in the comments, let me know what you think about it. What are your thoughts? I've also looked at some Kawasaki's, Yamaha's, sports touring motorcycles. But I'm just exploring some options. I'm also wondering, well, should I just go with another Indian and go with that Indian Chieftain, which will give me some saddlebags and the options of going a little distance if I wanted to. I'm going to keep watching YouTube, check out some videos of some sports touring motorcycles from the perspective of people who actually ride them. I want to know what some of the riders think about the sports touring motorcycles that they've purchased and whether they've taken them on long trips or not. So let's talk about some of these 2025 that's been released. As I've said before, I'm not a mechanic. I can only talk from the perspective of someone who rides and tell you when I see something that I like. I know that all the rave has been about the 112 Power Plus. The Indian is going to put into some of their other motorcycles like the Chieftain and the Roadmaster. I think it's a great choice to give some people, since I already have the 108 Power Plus platform. I'm not really impressed with that 112. I haven't seen or ridden one in person. I'm just telling you from what I see from all the commercials and YouTube videos that I watched. I am more impressed with the technology that they're bringing to the motorcycles. The blind spot detection, the rear and front collision warnings, and improving on the lean technology, as well as that hold assist. Those are the things that impress me the most, and I can't wait to ride an Indian with that technology. So I will be on the lookout for an Indian demo day anywhere in my area. If there's an Indian demo day within 200 miles of my area, I'm probably going to go to it. And then, of course, you know, Harley Davidson's come out with their 2025s. They brought back that Street Glide Ultra. Not really interested in a full dress touring motorcycle, so it's not something that really interests me. But as I said before, I still like that Pan America. So we'll see. I'll keep looking. I also look for Harley Davidson demo days. Maybe I'll go ride one of those new Street Glide, Road Glides. Haven't ridden one of those with the new fairing. So I'll be on the lookout for a demo day. I was impressed by that Pan America when I rode it. The only thing that I don't like about the Pan America is the way the saddlebags are shaped. So I'm an old soldier, and I remember the days when we used to have to carry ammunition cans, large green metal containers, and to me that's kind of what the saddlebags for the Pan America look like. They look like some old ammo cans that's been converted to saddlebags. So that's the only thing that I don't like. But if I were to get one, that's just a small thing that I can deal with. watch my speed going through some of these little small towns. On my way out here, I realized that there were police out, and they're definitely ticketing people today. The way they get you is between the small towns, the speed limit goes up to 65. And most people don't really drive the speed limit. They usually go somewhere between 5 to 10 miles over the speed limit. And when you get ready to hit the small towns, the speed limit drops from 65 down to 45. And then once you get into the towns or cities, the speed limit drops to 35. So if you're not paying attention and notice when that speed limit drops, that's when the police get you. And I'm pretty sure that on a Saturday, like today, where the weather's good and people are out trying to go somewhere, they gonna get a lot of people today. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not one of them. Yep, that was one right there, in a gray car. And you know that's unusual for a police officer, have a gray police car. So Glen Moore is one of those cities I was talking about, where the speed limit drops from 65 down to 50. Then once you get into the city, it drops even further. So if you're not careful, you will get got. I was riding down through here one day. I was in my Yukon, taking my wife and her auntie to Lafayette to go shopping, of course. And I hit that Glenmore city limit. Did not see the speed limit drop until after I saw the police officer. And by that time it was too late. He was already on me. So I got one time coming through here, not on Ruby, in my Yukon XL. I haven't seen too many police officers in Louisiana stop people riding motorcycles, but I don't want to test it. So if you're riding your motorcycle through Louisiana, especially if you want to stay off the interstate and hit some of the 2-lane highways, just know to watch the speed when you're going through some of the smaller cities attached to that highway, because the police are out there and they're waiting for you. And I'm using Get Got, but I learned that from one of my favorite YouTube channels, Queen of Love Sports. If you ever want to hear about some women's basketball, that's the place to go. And her motto on that channel was anybody could get got any day. What's up, family? Camera actually ran out of battery on the way back to Alexandria. So I'm here in Alexandria now, getting gas.
Our new song, London, is...
I said it on the last video that I don't think this Indian Pursuit has a 6-gallon gas tank like it says on the Indian website. I think it has more of a 5.5 gallon tank. This time, I rode until the low fuel light came on. Instead of it showing me how many miles I had to get to empty, it just said low. So now I'm at the gas station. I'm gonna pump some gas just to see if I can get anything close to 6 gallons in this tank. Or will it stop at 5.5, as I suspect? I'm at 5.2, and it's already at the top. 5.3 is 5.4. I'm just about at 5.5, and it's at that line where it's recommended you don't go above. So I'm definitely not going to be able to get anything close to 6 gallons of gas in here. So I'm going to stop it right there. I was able to get almost 5.6 gallons. I was able to get 5.59, rounded up to 5.6. But that's still a long way from that 6 gallon that's on the website. The real interesting thing about the website would be the difference between the Indian Pursuit Dark Horse and the Indian Pursuit Elite trim. If you go to the website and you look up the specs for the Indian Pursuit Elite, it says that the gas tank holds 5.5 gallons. But if you look at the specs for the Indian Pursuit Dark Horse or Limited, it has the fuel capacity listed at 6 gallons. I don't think that Indian or Polaris is putting different tanks on the Indian Elite and the Indian Dark Horse. I think the motorcycles are pretty much identical, with the exception of the paint scheme and some additional bells and whistles added to improve the aesthetics of the Indian Elite. So the specs for one of those motorcycles is not correct. And I believe the incorrect specs are listed for the Pursuit Dark Horse. I've never been able to get more than 5.5 gallons of gas in my Pursuit Dark Horse. I ran the bike until the fuel gauge showed about 17 miles to empty, and then when it got to 15 miles to empty, it just showed low, and I rode for another 10 miles, got to the gas station, and I put as much gas in it as it would take. There's a line on the inside of the gas tank. I think that line lets us know the fuel limit. So I try to stay at or below that line. And this time I went all the way up to the top, to the bottom of the line. And the most I was able to get in there was 5.59, which I'm rounding up to 5.6 gallons. They just saw me fill this thing up, and now my miles to empty is showing 188. That shouldn't happen either. Should be showing over 200, probably somewhere close to 220. I believe the lines that go from empty to full, those are accurate. But the numbers that show how many miles I have until I get to empty, that's never correct. Well, family, I'm going to end this video right here. For those of y'all who stayed with me all the way till the end, I appreciate it. I'll see you guys for the next episode. Until we meet again, I am the Fairweather Rider. My bike of choice is an Indian Pursuit. Whatever you ride, if you like it, go put some miles on it. Bye-bye.